thank you for the comments that some of you have sent to me about my series of videos that I'm posting at the moment. Several have asked me a question about a word that I use in my newsletters, and that is myelin, or myelinate, how to myelinate. So I think probably I took too many shortcuts and I probably should have explained it before. So here we go. A nerve is surrounded by a protective sheath or membrane called myelin, and it feeds the nerve, but it also does other things too. Now, when people practice a routine like piano lessons, playing golf, playing poker, whatever it might be, the more they practice, the thicker this myelin sheath becomes. And the thicker it becomes, just like an electric cable, the faster it transmits these electrochemical impulses. So this is how people learn to ride a bike. It's the best example I can think of. Remember when you started, you thought it was almost impossible, you kept falling off. Well, sooner or later, depending on probably your attitude and who was helping you and how old you were and everything, sooner or later it becomes automatic, because this has myelinated the action of riding a bike. All of those hundreds, millions of muscles that are being involved in this complex procedure suddenly go from conscious thought into unconscious thought. And that's the secret of elite performance. And so this is really what my job is, to help people to myelinate stuff. And there are shortcuts. Later in this series of videos, we might talk about the 10,000 hours rule that some of you may be familiar with, to be an expert at anything. Well, this statement is often quoted, but it's only half true in my humble opinion, and I'll explain why later. But so as a coach, I help people to myelinate faster. How do I do this? Every client is different, so I just have to find a way. But fortunately, there are many different ways. The three big ones that I coach people with are hypnosis, heart math, and a technique called havening and meditation also. So later in this series, we'll talk about all of these subjects in more detail. There's stuff on my webpage as well. But you know, I just can't exaggerate the critical importance of learning some of these techniques if you really want to be, you know, the best you can be. A recurring thing in my work with clients is that the majority vastly underestimate how good they can be and their potential that they have. And as soon as you tell your mind that you can't do something, that's pretty much what the mind will accept. Now, replace that word, you know, with the word impossible, with the word possible. Say, well, it is possible, yeah, that I could be a good golfer. It is possible that I could be a professional poker player, a successful business executive or actor or whatever. Use that word possible, then start to use some of these tools, and that's when people get lucky and they get very successful.